For more on the Central Economic Work Conference, I want to bring in Zhiqin, a senior fellow at Renmin University's Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. Mr. Liu, thank you for joining us. So, look, policy continuity is quite important for the economy, for the economic recovery as well. What do you see as the policy consistencies sent out from this year's Central Economic Work Conference, and what do you think were the new signals sent as well?
As we know that the policy consistency is quite important for China's economic recovery because all these policies remain stable and big changes that give more confidence and the continuity of the development of the economy. Especially this year's conference has stressed the two strategies, that the two factors of this major policy, how to stabilize our economy by pursuing also progress. That means to give more chances and the channels to promote more progress and forwarding. That is give more opportunities for economic growth by the same time that to stabilize the overall, the general situation of the economic development. So to make these two factors, stabilization and making progress, a good balance in good shape, this is very essential for China's future. So this signal is quite important. That means that stabilizing does not mean that to stop progressing. You have to try your best to make a progress, to do something more if you can within your effort, within your capacity. This is very important for our future development here.
And Mr. Liu, the meeting said that to further consolidate the economic recovery, China still needs to overcome some challenges, which policymakers listed as, for example, a lack of effective demand to a complex external environment, among others. So what's your takeaway from this meeting in terms of how China's policymakers intend to address these challenges?
Actually, we can see the policymakers are very clean to see that the real challenges we are facing, not only this year, but also in the past 3 years. The three factors, for instance, the lack of confidence and the lack of weak demands, and also weak expectation. Nowadays, I think the new signal from this conference, they said that we should pay more attention to those industry sections who are already overcapacity. So this is quite important to adjust our industrial policy in order to get a better result, to make a good balance in the during the development, to avoid any misunderstanding and misuse of resources and efforts to develop our new industry, especially for those emerging industries, for digitalization and green technologies and also inclusive technologies. How to make this point combined together. This is really a good challenge for us. But nowadays, the conference has outlined its program and outlined the guidance of how to further develop our economy. So this is very essential for local government and all entrepreneurs to follow up.
And of course, the meeting mapped out 9 priorities for economic work in 2024. I want to get your overall thoughts on why these 9 priorities and the significance of sci-tech innovation should lead the development of a modern industrial system listed as the first among the 9 priorities.
I should say the 9 priorities are so important for China's economy. This is the key elements of our major efforts to develop our economic recovery in the future. In my opinion, that we should emphasize or should lay out our A, B, C, D. A is the adequate investment. B is making more business more mobilized. C is the confidence build-up. D is the further development. So if we follow all this A, B, C, D progress, I think there's no big challenge or more difficulties for us in the year to come. I think next year we are very confident that optimistic to have a fulfillment of our economic target, because I think the conference has already made clear the strategy and the measures to realize this strategy, because we know that confidence is the number one, and also mutual trust and mutual cooperation between government and the local government and all the entrepreneurs are so elementary important for our economic development, especially for those economic recovery in the future.
All right, Mr. Liu, many thanks for your thoughts on that. Stay with us. We're going to come back to you in just a short moment. Well, China's private sector has become a major force behind global economic growth. That's according to China's National Development and Reform Commission, or the NDRC. The country's economy is projected to account for 1/3 of global economic growth this year, solidifying its position as the largest contributor to global growth. Now, in the first 10 months of this year, the imports and exports of private enterprises, denominated in RMB, rose 6.2% year on year. The growth rate surpasses the overall growth rate by more than 6 percentage points. During the first 3 quarters of this year, approximately 7 million new private enterprises were established nationwide. That's up 15.3% compared to the previous year. Now, by the end of September, the number of registered private enterprises exceeded 52 million, accounting for some 92.3% of the total number of companies here in China. China has also placed a strong emphasis on supporting and revitalizing its private sector to drive economic recovery. The NDRC, along with multiple ministries, has introduced 28 detailed measures, including tax cuts and streamlined bureaucratic processes to bolster the private economy. All right, for more on China's private economy, I want to bring back Liu Zhiqin from the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. Mr. Liu, look, we were just reporting on the importance of the private economy to China's economic development. What were the major policy initiatives, in your view, to support China's private sector this year?
I think this year the central government has tried its best to make all allocated resources in favor of the private economy. As we know, the private economy has suffered heavy losses or difficulties during the past the 3 years of pandemic. So this is a big challenge for the government to give more confidence, give more boosting efforts to stimulate the private economy. I think in financial section, the central government has issued a lot of policies and measures to support the private companies to further develop its economy, and also from the market access, they give more freedom and more chances, opportunities for private companies, and further also give more favorable conditions to have more employment of the private economies in order to give more boosters and driving force to stimulate the economic development driven by the private economy. As we know, private economy plays a very important role in China. We say this is a decisive forces in China's economic development. So we will have more favorable policies to support the private entrepreneurs and the private enterprises. In this way, that we can meet our final target of our economic development.
And the Central Economic Work Conference made it clear that China will continue to advance the development of the private economy. So what do you think are the next steps to support China's private sector in 2024 in terms of boosting confidence and investment sentiment?
Actually, from the private economy of private entrepreneurs, as we talked with them, that they are not only in urgent need of financial support, they are not only in urgent need of confidence. Actually, they need the high respect from all the society. As we know that in the past time that they are under some pressure of this media or some special cases, always that put the private companies as the first line to be criticized or to be as a skeptic for something special. So in this way, that some entrepreneurs, they are really under psychological and pressure how to do further. Even during some private companies, they said, if I do more, I have more mistakes, so I have more punishment. So this is a point that should be noticed by the local government, that how to avoid such cases that repeatedly happen to the private entrepreneurs in order to create a favorable the fairness of the doing business conditions and the environment. A better environment is also better for the whole country economic development.
All right.